Mr. Tompkins, it's good to see you. However, I wish it was under better circumstances, of course. I'm sure you're at least a bit confused, if not outraged, as I am about the Supreme Court decision. As you know, the trial court ordered a $30,000 judgment in your favor. Then on appeal, the circuit court affirmed, or rather confirmed, that the right decision had been reached. Then Erie appealed to the United States Supreme Court. And as you know, the Supreme Court has effectively reversed your judgment and has sent the case back to the trial court to be heard under a different set of rules. Now, I fear that your $30,000 judgment is in jeopardy. In fact, I think it may be unlikely that you would receive anything at all after all this time. And to that, I owe you an explanation. Now, if you'll recall, we decided to file the case in New York federal court for a strategic reason. And that was because the federal law was much more favorable to your claim than the Pennsylvania state law. And as you know, this has been the conflict throughout the entire proceedings. While we're arguing that the federal law should apply, and the federal law states that the railroad company is liable for this ordinary negligence. However, the railroad company has been asserting that under Pennsylvania state law, you would be considered a trespasser. And because you would be considered a trespasser, they owe no duty or liability for ordinary negligence. Now, we made this strategic move based on the previous notion that the federal courts can exercise discretion on whether or not to apply state common law. Now, they exercised that discretion in the trial court and awarded you the $30,000 judgment. The circuit court, of course, affirmed this. Now, the United States Supreme Court, however, has rejected this notion, has reversed this idea that the federal court has discretion whether or not to apply state law, and actually have deemed it unconstitutional. Now, there is some reasoning behind this that I understand. And basically, it's that they're trying to curb this unfair advantage in the way that we sought the court that we were looking for. They don't want people looking for a court that's going to have law more favorable to them. To put it in other words, they want every case to have equal standing, whether or not it's brought in state court or federal court. The decisions should be the same. And I understand that. And it's easy to see how the outcome will be drastically different when applying state law versus federal law here. However, what I don't understand is why they chose your case, this specific moment in time, to set an example and change this way of thinking. Why they did this, I don't understand. Why they have a man who lost his arm, whose livelihood will be significantly impacted for the rest of his life, why they would choose you to make this unfavorable decision. Now, of course, it's been moved back to the trial court, and we can hear the case again. However, now it's going to be under state Pennsylvania law, and as you know, this is much more unfavorable to you. To succeed in that kind of case, we would have to prove that the railroad company willfully acted in a way that made your injury happen. I think this is a very high threshold, and I'm not sure if the case will be successful. However, if you're willing to try, I am. So how about you give some time to think about it? But for now, I'm sure you have some additional questions and some ways I can clarify it. So I'll turn it over to you.